Alright, welcome back to the Cymax channel. Today I'm going to touch base on what I did yesterday, which didn't work too well. I was kind of in the middle of some development stuff and had some states that weren't quite right, and restarting everything seemed to make it go well. So today I want to talk about natmove for references and citations, mostly citations. And one thing that I really believe, really strongly in, is your citations belong in the sentence that they are referencing and not outside the sentence. And what happens is, if you have a superscript, then it looks better if it's on the right-hand side of the punctuation instead of on the inside. Now, in LaTeX, especially with achemso, the ACS LaTeX style files, they will provide the natmove package that automatically moves your citations to the right place. And that works great for natbib and achemso, but it doesn't work well for anything else. And in fact, it doesn't work for other things. So what I wanted was to be able to do things and put them in the right place. So like over here, this citation is inside the sentence on the left side of the period, so that it is logically contained, but when it gets created in the bibliography and rendered document, it is in a superscript on the right. All right, so let's take a look at how it what this really means. So here's an example of a citation in a sentence. This one will just stay where it is. If it's in a clause like this, it should get moved to the other side of the comma, and this should get moved to the other side of the parentheses. This should get moved to the other side of the colon, semicolon, and all of these should get moved to the outside. And we will look at how that happens. This is also done with a before parsing hook, where it just loops through the citations and looks at where they are and moves them before we export it. So to see that in action, we'll run this where I've let bound this parsing hook so that we just do natmove. You can also add refproc and some other processors here if you want. But basically, when you run this, what happens is you see the citations get moved to the outside of punctuation, and now this can be exported in the usual way. All right, so this is most helpful when you have to make PDFs in styles that don't support natmove, which in my experience is like everything that doesn't use natbib and achemso, and it turns out doesn't work on non-site. So if you use site T or site P, natmove doesn't touch them, and this one does. So let's have a look at what this ends up looking like. We'll run this. Takes a little while. Let's see. I think we're probably hearing myself in another one. Here's the critical point. We have this one is okay, right-hand side of punctuation, right-hand side, like so, and these look really nice. Let's do in contrast if I just export this as a regular PDF. Here you can see they're inside inside the sentences. Maybe with this one exception that is, how did that happen? That's interesting. Oh, you know what? I have natmove set to be in my default packages. So this one, only this one, and this one are being moved by natmove, and then these ones, this one, and for some reason these ones are not. I've actually never noticed that natmove doesn't move across these, and I guess that's a feature of these are not very common in scientific writing. All right, so that's basically it, and maybe we'll take let's go back to here, maybe a quick look at roughly what happens. So the natmove code, I guess, has moved. So here is just a preprocessor that takes the backend as an argument, and all it does is it gets all of the cites in your document, and as always, we go in reverse, because as you change the point, it changes the position of everything after it. and so we go in reverse order. And so we just look for when there is punctuation on the right hand side, and if there is, we get the punctuation and then set the delete the punctuation and then insert it at the beginning of the link, and then add the spaces back as necessary. So it's a really simple preprocessor to move the sites around. All right, so the last thing that I thought I would try to do is take two on refproc. Yesterday we had all kinds of technical issues. So today, hopefully those work fine. So let me roll through what this document is. This is a kind of a regular org document and has sections. We have some headings. These are the settings that tell us to abbreviate and capitalize the clever ref packages. And maybe it's worth exporting this as a PDF first to see what the gold standard of reference processing is. So the gold standard is that we have all of these different kinds of references that you can get the number. Here we have autoref puts in a section. Nameref gives you the introduction. We have all of these numbers that get sorted and so forth. Down here, these automatically put in table. Cleverref puts in tables because this has two of them and inserts the and. And the most clever of all is down here in these mixed listings, where we have listings 1 to 4, and this has collapsed the four things that are down. Let's see, it collapsed all 4 of these into this, and this is the most clever, where we actually have lots of different kinds of references that all get labeled correctly with capitalization and pluralization, etc. All right, so that's the gold standard in LaTeX, and the refproc brings this kind of thing to HTML, ODT, etc. So if we run this one, this is going to make an HTML file now, and let's get it over here. So you can see here we have numbers, we have the section, we have the named introduction. Here we have the caption. Down here we get some condensation. I didn't get quite to be too clever to be 1, 2, 4. You have to make sure things are sequential, and I didn't get that clever. But even this down here is looking pretty good. And so here I have the abbreviated version. Let's make abbreviate be nil. And that will put in full versions. So now we have section, sections. These are all the full versions instead of the abbreviated versions. So that's pretty nice. Down here, I'll show you that we can also get to this open document format that's compatible with Word. And a subtle point here is the equations in this seem to break ODT, so I just tagged them as no export. And so here you get all of these fancy clickable. You can click to these and jump down to the different places. And we have like really nice cross references that look great and are numbered correctly in that, including all of these mixed kinds. So that's pretty exciting. We can now combine the reference processor, the natmove processor, and I feel like there was one other one, the CSL processor, to get full support for these documents. So let's see, basic.org. Does this one have? This one has some citations. It has some cross references. Has miscellaneous links. And all of these now can be exported to that. Let's look at this one. I think this one has cross references and so forth. So let's look at this one. Here we're going to use natmove, and you should do this one first because it just moves the links. And then we'll put in a CSL preprocessor to convert the citations into an ODT compatible form, and we'll use the ref processor. And so this gives us now a nicely formatted citations. These are all clickable. You have different cross-references. Those are down here that I showed you. We have natmove putting things kind of in the right place. It's maybe debatable if we should use natmove here since these are not superscripts, but that's a decision you can make on your own. All you do is uncomment it. And we get a beautiful looking bibliography. And this should work for ODT as well. I never remember exactly how to do it here, so let's go back and let's do this one. I'll just live dangerous and see if this works. I'm not positive about the equations. I've been having some difficulty with those. We'll find out in a second. All right, so here is our document. There's some cross-references. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't set that. Oh, it's because I set it to be very specific. Let's see. So here we didn't include no export. And is there an equation in here? Oh, I see. There is not an equation in here. So it worked fine. Maybe I'll put one just for fun. I don't see that equation coming up, so I don't know what that's about. This has been one of the most tricky things to get fully supported. Oh, I see. There's one there. Is getting everything you want in something that looks like open document. All right, so we have that, but it's not being recognized as an equation. So now we have cross-references and citations, but not equations maybe. Yeah, so something is not working quite right on those, but maybe one day we'll get the whole thing working together. It does work well with HTML where you get equations here and nicely formatted things here. All right, so that is it. Hopefully that makes up for the less than stellar performance yesterday, where we had some of the issues. And there are only a few more things that I want to talk about in OrGraph. One of them is another processor for citations that doesn't rely on the CSL. but builds on the what LaTeX already does and lets you leverage LaTeX for non-LaTeX exports. And maybe one more thing is using glossaries and acronyms. There's some new improvements in that I've been working on, so probably next week I will make some videos about that. All right, so that is it for today. Thanks for coming, and I will see you next time.